How many times have you stopped yourself from trying something just because you were afraid to fail? That invisible yet powerful fear holds us back, making us believe that failing is a sign of weakness or that it's the end of the road. But here's the simple truth. Failure isn't your enemy. In fact, it's the most powerful tool for learning and growth. Failure isn't here to defeat you. It's here to teach you, shape you, and prepare you for something greater. The most successful people in the world didn't avoid failure. They embraced every setback as a chance to grow. So why are you still running from it? Imagine standing in front of a door that slams shut in your face. Now imagine this happening dozens of times a week. That was Sara Blakely's daily reality, a young salesperson hustling to sell fax machines. With no client list or support, all she had was a phone book and the harsh truth of constant rejection. For most people, this would be a reason to give up, but for Sara, it was just another test. Her resilience to failure didn't come out of nowhere. Since childhood, her father had a surprising habit at the dinner table. He would ask, "What did you fail at this week?" He wasn't interested in high grades or big achievements. He wanted to hear about attempts that didn't go as planned. If there was nothing to share, he'd be disappointed. To him, failure wasn't a mark of shame. It was proof of effort and courage to try. That lesson became the foundation of Sara's life. Failure was just a step on the path to success. This mindset kept Sara going on her journey. In 1998, while getting ready for a party, she faced a simple yet frustrating problem: how to shape her body comfortably and practically. Staring at her pantyhose, she had an unusual idea. She cut off the feet of her tights and created a quick fix. What started as a last-minute trick turned into a plan. She faced skepticism, closed doors, and even lawyers who thought her idea was absurd. But the persistence she had built selling fax machines gave her the strength to keep pushing forward. 2 years later, Spanx was born, changing the lives of millions. Sara didn't just turn a problem into a billion-dollar empire. She redefined what it means to fail. For her, failure wasn't a barrier. It was the step needed to reach the next level. The fear of failure is more common than you might think. It's deeply rooted in our brains as a self-protection mechanism. Back in primitive times, failure meant real risks to survival, being rejected by a tribe or losing access to resources. While times have changed, this reaction still lingers within us. Today, the fear of failure is more tied to our self-esteem and how others perceive us. But let me tell you something crucial. The way we perceive failure is often distorted. Imagine a child learning to walk. They fall countless times, but each fall brings them closer to taking their first steps. For them, there's no concept of failure, only learning. The problem begins as we grow older and start associating failure with shame, rejection, or even public humiliation. Now let's talk about the consequences of living with this fear. It paralyzes you. It stops you from stepping out of your comfort zone, and worse, makes you believe you'll never be good enough. Think about the opportunities you've let slip away because the what-ifs haunted you. What if I'm not good enough? What if people laugh at me? This mindset keeps you stuck, holding you back from your dreams. But failure is actually an essential part of success. Successful people don't avoid failure, they face it head-on. Thomas Edison, for example, failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb. To him, those 1,000 failures weren't defeats. They were 1,000 ways to discover what didn't work. When you start viewing failure from this perspective, everything changes. Failure isn't a final verdict. It's a stepping stone on the path to success. It teaches you invaluable lessons that no immediate win ever could. Most importantly, it builds resilience, a skill you absolutely need to achieve great things. Now that you understand what the fear of failure is and how it works, it's time to take action. Fear doesn't fade away with theories. It dissolves with action. Let me show you 3 practical steps you can start applying today to overcome this obstacle and transform your life. Step 1. Identify the root of your fear. The first step is to ask yourself, what exactly am I afraid of? Often our fear feels vague, but when you take the time to explore it, it starts losing its power. Write down what scares you the most. For example, I'm afraid of being rejected if I fail. Now ask yourself, what's the worst case scenario? You'll realise that most of the time, the worst case scenario isn't as bad as it seems. This exercise helps you see fear as something tangible, not an invisible monster. Step 2. Redefine the meaning of failure. Here's the truth. Failure isn't the end, it's proof that you're trying. Think about it. Every failure is an opportunity to adjust your course. Reflect on something that didn't work out in the past. What did you learn from it? Maybe you gained a new skill, an important lesson, or even an inspiring story to share. When you start seeing failure as an ally, it stops being so scary. Step 3. Take small actions to step out of your comfort zone. Overcoming fear doesn't mean taking a giant leap all at once. Start with small but consistent steps. For instance, if you're afraid of public speaking, try practicing with a friend or recording a video just for yourself. Every small, successful action builds your confidence and weakens your fear. Bonus tip: celebrate your failures. It might sound counterintuitive, but acknowledging that you tried, even if you didn't succeed, helps you value effort over results. This shift in mindset changes everything. Remember, the secret is simple. The fear of failure doesn't disappear completely, but you can learn to move forward despite it. And the more you take action, the more you'll realise that failure isn't an end, it's a beginning. Michael Jordan, considered by many as the greatest basketball player of all time, faced a significant setback early in his journey. He was cut from his high school basketball team and told he wasn't good enough for something he deeply loved. Imagine the frustration of hearing such words. However, instead of accepting this defeat as final, Jordan used it as motivation. He trained tirelessly, developed his skills, and eventually built a legacy that has inspired millions of people worldwide. His story is a powerful reminder that failures can be the fuel for the greatest achievements. Walt Disney, before creating the magical empire we know today, faced numerous challenges. He was fired from a newspaper for allegedly lacking imagination and good ideas. He also endured bankruptcies and rejections from investors who didn't see the potential in his projects. Nevertheless, he persisted, and it was this resilience that brought the Walt Disney Company, Mickey Mouse, and countless dreams to life, enchanting the world. Oprah Winfrey was fired from her job as a TV presenter because they said she didn't have the right fit for television. Today, she stands as one of the most influential figures in the world. The fear of failure isn't your enemy. It's a sign that you're moving towards something meaningful. Great achievements are never born from comfort or certainty, but from the courage to face risks and the challenges that come with them. When you decide to stop fighting against failure and start embracing it, everything will change. Every mistake will become a stepping stone, every rejection a lesson, and every attempt a testament to your determination. It's not about avoiding failure, it's about using it as a tool to grow, learn, and reach heights you never imagined. So I challenge you to take the first step today. That project you've been putting off, that conversation you've been avoiding, that dream that seems too big. Go for it. Don't wait for perfect conditions. They'll never exist. The perfect moment is now. And remember, the world doesn't need perfection. It needs your authenticity, resilience, and courage. The real question isn't what if I fail, but what if I never try? The greatest risk you can take is not taking any risk at all.